being fake for 20 years. And I'm sorry, I could be wrong, but that's my opinion, because you don't expose that. Was she real quick to do it?
Yeah. And
She
then
been
lied
waiting.
about it and said they didn't do it. I have the
Oh,
proof
and
that
see,
she
that's
said
the
you
other
were
thing.
going to.
I do something, I'm going to tell you I did it. I'm going to come right out and be like, yep, and did.
See,
Cardi
you
B,
see
and
that?
did.
Do you see the comments?
I
That's what I'm
can't,
talking
no,
about.
girl. I'm talking to you. I'm not even focusing on them.
Right. I wasn't, but I just noticed her. It sometimes I notice it and it's like, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah, I'm not paying attention. Like I said, I'm talking to you, and that's that. But yeah, I would never expose the stuff that this person has told me. I could never do that. And that's the other thing, because I wouldn't want it done to me. I am a very strong believer in do unto others. And
Yeah.
if I don't want something done to me and I don't like it, why in God's earth am I going to do it to somebody else? I
Listen,
know
the
how that
second-
feels. It hurts.
Yeah, the second that you even say anything that remotely has any, like, even they think this is a true statement. I can prove this. They think that is about them. They literally come in and don't be speaking on this person. Okay, well, we weren't speaking on this person in the first place, but okay, gotcha. And then,
Right,
and then
but
the next
okay.
thing you know, the rest of your more personal information is coming out. Like, bitch, we weren't even talking about you, so why are you doing this?
Yep,
That's
exactly.
the crazy shit. Like,
Right.
a lot of the things that I'm being drug over now, I've never said. Wasn't me. Now I
Well.
gotta defend myself, and now I gotta figure shit out because.
But see, no, right
you know what
there,
I mean?
Bullet. No, you don't. You don't have to tell them anything. You owe them nothing.
No.
These people are irrelevant.
Right, no, I get that. But when police officers show up at your door scratching their heads and CPS is wondering where an 8-year-old child
Oh
is.
yeah, you can't ignore that, can you,
can't
Bullet?
yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, they don't just say random things here. They come
So they're
personal.
taking it to real life.
Yes.
Like outside the app, they're doing real life crap to you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh my gosh, girl, how do you do it? I see, I'm calm and I'm not patient. Let me stop. I will not say patient because my husband will look at me and laugh. I am not a patient person, but I'm calm. I do kind of think it depends on the situation. Now, when it comes to my grandbabies, I'm short-tempered.
Mm-hmm.
I'm short-tempered. Don't mess with my babies.
Yeah.
Especially the third one.
Kids.
Right. But I'm very calm. I can pretty much, think before I act. I like to talk the problem out. If there's a problem, I like to come to a conclusion, resolve it. If there's a solution, sometimes there's not, but I'm pretty calm for the most part. But once I get going, oh boy, there's no stopping. I will wreck crap. And I win, and I win. I get it done. But it takes a lot to do that, and a lot of that is if you mess with my babies.
It's a glitch. Sorry that Virginia asked how she's liking the live. It's a glitch. Yeah, I agree. And that's it. That's what's crazy is, like, you got to pick and choose what it's got to do with, like, your kids and not. But, like, when they go personal life and they start affecting your kids, it's very hard to, like.
Yeah, I'm so sorry for that. I don't understand what people get off of that. What is does that make you sleep better at night? When you lay your head down, do you feel good about yourself?
That's what I wonder, because I've been having serious threats of being called again. They were going to do what they can. Now my veterinarian's going to be called.
I saw that. Like,
Jesus Christ. Like, and here's my thought. Okay, destroy me all you want. Okay, I understand that, but you got to look at the big picture. Who else are you destroying?
right. Well, see, that's the thing, Bullet. And I just had a conversation with my daughter about this the other day. She gets so angry. People in general do get so angry that they want to hurt. Okay, well, use you. Sassy wants to hurt you. But because of that, she's not thinking, or she might, I don't know, but they don't think of the other people. Like, now you know what I'm saying? Like, if I get angry at this, we'll call her Sue. I get mad at Sue and I want to destroy Sue's life so bad. But am I thinking of the children that are in that home, or her husband that might lose their mom and their wife because I'm angry and want to destroy her life? You're not looking at the bigger picture, and you want to hurt Bullet, but from what it sounds like, Bullet ain't getting hurt. So
No,
what are you gaining from all this? What, like you said, back to the original question, what is your goal here?
yeah, that's why I said it, because like she said she called Adult Protective Services on me. Like they called on my yard for trash being in my yard. Like what is your end goal, man? Like how many people are you, like they contacted my father.
Well, Bullet, I have a question because I've heard this from a few people. I've heard going to City Hall and getting is the cops and stuff really go do all this stuff over TikTok stuff?
They only do so much as long as it abides by, or it can be done by the laws. There are certain things that have been done that can actually be done federally. On cyberbullying, and yeah, it actually gets even more extensive, but I can't talk too much into that because some of that might be in place.
Okay. Yeah, because I've seen a lot of that, and I'm like, cops cannot be all involved with this TikTok and stuff and Snapchat and getting warrants for I don't even know half of what was going on. I'm just like, wow, because where I'm at, they can't do nothing over Facebook. They can't do nothing over, and nothing that has to do with the internet, from my understanding.
Yeah, well, it depends on the situation and who they're attacking and what exactly they do. A lot of false reports. So many, like it's kind of like.
So there does have to be proof, right? Like solid proof. Yeah. Like I couldn't just go down to a police station and say Jack is harassing me and I want him arrested.
No, I mean you have to have some kind of proof, or so many people that says word of mouth. They don't take, you know what I mean? You got to prove it beyond a reasonable doubt. So no matter what certain situations happens. But
thanks for explaining that, because I was real confused.
Yeah, certain things. I mean, it's just certain things that, I mean, anything can happen. You can sue somebody for anything, but it just depends on how you go about doing it and the ways. Like, again, like I said, sometimes it becomes out of the state's hands. Especially if people are in other states, you have to have so many different people in so many states doing it until you can get something done. And
each state has different laws too.
Yes. And like some things that people do on this app are also not state related. They're federal related. So they get pressed many more charges, but it takes a lot of time. It takes time.
How do they still even have accounts? That's what I don't understand. My husband and I were talking about that. Like, did you see the one that everybody was posting about the guy? They're trying to get him off the internet because he was showing our kids how to make love or something.
Oh my God, no.
Yeah, I don't remember too much about it. I did share it, but I was saying to my husband, how was he even able to stay on this long with making a post like that in his own words? I don't know. I was just baffled. I was totally thrown with it. Like, I don't even know how he managed to stay on as long as he did with saying things like that about children, but whatever.
Right. And here's the thing is, a lot of things happen when a lot of people come together and they make, they make a big fuss about it. Like, that's why petitions, when they're signed, people get things done, et cetera, et cetera. Like, you have to have so many people that are doing it. And the more people that see it for themselves and realize what's going on, the more influences you can, the more attention that you're going to be able to give to authorities to really pay attention and do the right thing. And if we can, power is better in numbers. And I feel like
I do think everybody got him off. Together. Yeah, that makes sense, because I do think he's off the app as far as I know.
Right.
So I get it, but
it doesn't take hate to come towards somebody. It takes strength and doing the right thing, and
it takes a village.
Just standing together and not cowering down because somebody thinks something else and all that. And I guess that's another reason why I still stand tall, is I'm not going to allow somebody like Sassy, for example, to bring me down, and to stop me from doing things that I dream and I love, no matter how hard they try. I can't.
And that's good. No, and that's good. And you shouldn't bullet, but at the same time, stop giving them so much energy.
Right.
For me, it would be exhausting to do this every single day, to have to respond to something that someone, like, we'll say tonight, maybe someone goes live and they're talking about your and I conversation here.
Oh,
Do
they
you
will.
think I'm going to give two craps what they say, or that they're going to
Exactly.
post it all over and I'm going to be on I don't care.
Right?
Because I know what I'm saying. For one, I'm not saying anything wrong. And from what I'm seeing in the chat, they're agreeing with our whole conversation right now.
Right. Well, see, the
So-
thing is you can ask my moderators, especially other people who talk to me personally. I don't go on and just stalk these people's lives and wait till they talk and say something about me. It doesn't, like, unless it's extreme, they really don't send me very much. But, like, I don't engage in their bullshit. Like, I don't care what they have to say.
Good.
It's not like when I'm off the app, I'm off the app. Like, I go to the shit I got going on. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
I usually try to be off at certain times. Sometimes I carry on to longer times when certain situations happen. But like at the end of the day, when I get off this live, this bitch isn't going to be looking for their shit and what they're talking about. I don't care. I really fucking don't. But I do go on Reddit in the mornings and I like read certain things and what people post. And sometimes it gets to the point where I was like, you guys are fucking, like, I say something and I guess that's wrong because I get so sick of it. But at the same
I get
time,
it. I do.
Bill, if I responded to everything that they fucking did.
So
oh
in
my
other
God.
words, it builds up and then you snap and it all comes out.
Yeah, like today, for example, like you can ask the girls, like I've been trying to ignore them as much as I can. They've been blocked. And then at the end of the day, I'm like trying to I'm like, what do you want, man? Like, what do you want out of all of this, you know?
Right.
But I promise you, like at least I feel personally, like I've really been trying to just let that shit fucking slide. But
Sammy said it right there. I hope I said her name right. She will get bored and move on. That's exactly it. Let her get bored. But if you engage with her, you gave her fix for the day.
Like, oh yeah, like yesterday she said, well, if Ashley didn't mention your name, I would have forgot about you. But I didn't, what? So somebody else mentioned my name, so now you remember? What?
Right. Well, I remember, I don't remember what it was on or about, so don't quote me. But about a month or so ago, I hadn't seen you for a few days on here, and all of a sudden you're back on here, and then you were saying, what was going on, and I'm like, oh my gosh, she hasn't even been on. What is going on with people? So I do see it, girl. I do, and I'm peeping it. But again, don't engage. It's like, how my mom used to tell me, it's like a fiend. They're going to keep fiending until you give them their fix.
Right.
Don't do it.
She's at this point, I think it is like that. She's addicted to me.
Yes. And again, so, cause I'm sure this is being recorded and posted. I am not talking junk about Sassy. I am speaking hypothetically because of the situation that is going on. It's her or anybody that does this to somebody.
Oh yeah, it's just in general.
Anybody.
When it comes to certain people and the way that they act, it becomes an obsession, and it happens before they even realize what's going on. There are
and do
times
you know,
where
Bullet, that sometimes? Oops, sorry. Go ahead.
Oh, you're okay. Well, for example, there's been people on this internet that I have literally like. They've done certain things, and I became overwhelmed and overcome with like proving them to be wrong, like with their videos and everything. And that's okay to an extent. But like sometimes people just get sick of hearing about them. And I had to learn that at a point where it was like, dude, enough is enough. I'm done.
You know what I can't get over? I don't know because I don't do it, but how do people go so quick, turn on people so fast on this app and then turn around and say, but I thought they were my friend? How? Explain to me how you thought they were your friend. If you only met them, let me start over. If you met this on this app and you've never been to their house and you've never associated with them any other way except the app, and I even mean through a call, what do they got? Calls like you can voice, I don't even know what they're called. But unless you've literally hung out with this person and know who this person is, why are you sitting here crying saying, but I thought they were my friend. How could they have done that to me? I can't make it make sense to me, please, because I don't understand it. As a 48-year-old woman, I do not understand how you can consider that person your friend. Why? Because they said we're friends?
Yeah. I mean, I've said that several times, but that was like a lot of the times, like I actually have personal friendships with people. Like, there's one I know that I've had friendships with for 20 plus years, and I wonder how they could fucking do that to me. But when it comes
Yeah,
to
that's
when it comes to certain, like, look, I'm a friend with you for a week and we're like cool, and then I drag you, and then you probably shouldn't
Right.
say that. Like, we weren't friends. We were
Right.
acquaintances until
It's
then.
associates.
Yeah.
Exactly. So you get what I'm saying. Make it make sense to me, because I even just said that in a chat that was on the other day. When are people going to understand people on this app are not your friends?
Yeah. There are some that you do find that are genuinely your friends, though, like that really do have good intentions. They're few and far between. And I am also lucky to have some people that are like, just right is right, wrong is wrong, and they'll tell me if I'm
But is
wrong.
it outside the app? Is it more than just the app?
Yes.
Bless you.
It's more than like we talk off the app. It's not like you just come in and say hi, how you doing on the app, and then that's it. Like we're actual friends. You know what I mean?
Okay. Well, if that's what you want to consider them, and that's, how you feel, then that's you. I just personally, like I said, I don't think I could get too comfortable, maybe is the right word.
Right. No, I agree.
With telling, you know what I mean? Like, I'm sorry, maybe I'm just too cautious. I don't know, but I guide my heart. And I guide my peace. My peace is everything to me. And I just, maybe I guard it a little too much. And so I don't trust, maybe, I don't know. But I just, with this app, no, thank you.
Absolutely. No, I understand. And there's some things that, like, if I say certain things, it's not been repeated on this app before. I mean, sorry, that has been repeated on this app before. So like, there's some people that I just, say if I do have friendship with them and I'm just like, okay, there's something about my gut that doesn't feel right. Like, I'm not going to say anything that I wouldn't allow.
Always go with your gut.
You know what I mean?
Yep.
I wouldn't allow.
Well, someone said it best right here. You can make friends, just be careful who you trust.
Absolutely.
That's the key word too, right there. Yeah, that's the biggest one. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And I agree. But like I said, I mean, when it comes to people that you've known personally, that you've shared a lot of secrets with, that are like literally coming to creators they don't even know and sharing personal information, that's disgusting to me. That is just
that's what
that's how Sassy knows half her shit. Not from me.
Yeah, and then people get mad. Say, okay, so we'll use you and I. You and I are talking. We keep talking. 5 months go back. 6 months go by. We're talking. You tell me something. We're still getting along. We're fine. Next minute, you disagree with something, or I feel you did me wrong. First place I go to is social media and put our business out there. For what? Why can't I inbox you? We've been talking that way all the time. Why are we going to bring it now to the end? You know what I mean? And then and now they're hating it. It just, I don't know. It's crazy.
Right. I tend to try to come to people off of the app, especially if I care about them. It's like, I'm going to come directly to you. But if I come to you on the app, it's probably because it's been done on the app and it's not that serious. But I'm not going to come to somebody and be like, oh, did you actually touch this kid? Or, stuff like that. Like, dude, you have a problem and let's figure it out.
Right.
Like, I just did that extensively. But what I'm saying is there's some things that you bring to the app and some things you just really need to go directly to the person. And some people don't do that.
Well, what does that say? Go to the source.
Right. I try to go to the
better
source.
to tell you your story. You know what I mean? That's the other thing that I see. Like, everybody else telling everybody else's story. Shut up. Like, it's not your story to tell. It's not your rumor to tell. It's not your business to tell. Mind your business. Hello? Oh.
I'm sorry. I was reading the comments.
Oh, yeah. I haven't even paid it.
Sorry, I saw it on Reddit, but did you really cut up the horse? And I said no. And then Britt, the bully, said, no, I did. I hate it here.
I'm telling you. And I don't know you. And I'm going to go by what I've seen you do and not do, and little bit I've heard. I will say out loud, I don't believe what's being said. And if I'm wrong, I'm wrong. But I don't believe it. As of right now, I don't believe you did that.
I would never do that. I love my animals.
I don't see I don't know you, but I don't see you. And from what I've seen, and I don't know. I seen the way you were taking care of the chickens, and I watched you and how you talk to them. They're like your kids.
Oh yeah.
And I don't see you doing that. I see you telling the story because I heard you yesterday. I heard your words getting twisted. Mm-hmm. I heard questions being asked in the comments, and you replying to one, and then somebody, and so it made it, you know what I mean? It made it seem like you were saying yes to that person. It just got you all caught up, girl.
Yeah, and it's really easy.
I'm just like, Bullet, stop talking.
It's really easy to get caught up before you even know it. Like you're just it's crazy.
Well,
like,
I
for
know
example,
you don't.
like they're like, oh, you cut up the horse. Like if that's what you think I did, then go ahead and think that. Like I'm pretty sure if it's to save a life because you can't save another one, you got to do what you got to do to make sure that thing is alive. You know what I mean? Like you have to have that. You have to give it that opportunity.
Was it a case of you had to sacrifice one for the other, or what? What? I don't need you to go all back into it. I just want to know
you're
that.
Fine. No. So what happened is I had a miniature horse, and she ended up, actually it's a wild story because the daddy horse was not supposed to be let out, and it was let out, right? Not by choice. Mm-hmm. So she ended up getting pregnant again, which I did not want. And so I already had planned for the worst and hope for the best in the situation, because the daddy was having problems with his babies. Like there were issues. That's why he was separated. Okay. So when it came to her giving birth, the baby actually got stuck. His head, instead of being forward the way that it normally is to come out, it was actually bent to its chest. So it was very difficult. Ooh. Yeah, it was very difficult to get out.
It wasn't able to push through the proper way then.
No, it wasn't able. There was no way. And with miniature horses, they're not like big horses. You can't just shove your whole hand up there and get them out. You know, like there's certain.
Yeah, I heard you say that part. It'll destroy their insides or something.
Yes, certain anatomies of certain animals that you cannot do that with. Well, you get them on the side. You try to turn them. You try to do what you can to get the baby to move. But the baby was also really, really big, so it didn't really have the opportunity to even be able to move. It was a big baby. And
now hold on, that was the baby. Wait, Bullet. The baby was the one that you showed the picture of, correct?
Yeah, the baby.
Yes, that was a big baby then. Okay, go on. I just wanted to make sure I was on the same page as you.
Yeah, and then so she wasn't able to get this baby out. There was several different options that could have been done. One option was, there's certain times where you can, like if you've ever watched any cattle movies, or not movies, but videos especially, there's a certain way that you pull to try to get the baby to come out. Sometimes the head will pry itself loose and it'll be able to turn it. You can be able to get the baby out, but it actually takes a little bit of effort. So, sometimes what you do, because I didn't know the baby's head was stuck inside. I mean, like twisted to its stomach.
How would you?
You wouldn't know. You can't. You can only go in so far. So, hoping for the best, you try to pull in a downward motion because you never want to pull straight out or up. That would destroy things. But sometimes it takes a little bit of strength to get. I mean. Like that's a big animal, and when they're exhausted, they ain't pushing. You gotta do something, or they're both gonna die. So using
it's just like leverage, us as females when we have our babies, right? We get exhausted. If we stop pushing, things can happen.
Yeah, and if you're not strong enough, which I'm not gonna lie, I'm not strong enough to, a horse is strong enough to push a fucking big horse out. Not me. Right. I'm not strong enough for that. They're big animals. So I did use leverage. I wrapped a rope around its ankles or whatever, and I used a little bit of leverage because I had a hook and the truck was right there. So I had a hook. So I used leverage as just leverage, not to pull, not to hurt, just to keep that tension. So that way we could figure out, try to move it a little bit and get it out and do our best, because it does take strength. And I don't know if anybody has had muscle failure, but it usually happens when you say you lift weights, for example, and you can't hold it up you can only hold up a weight, 150-pound weight for so long, and then you got to put it down. So if you have that little extra leverage, that kind of helps a little bit.
Well, that's why they have spotters.
Right. Well, the baby wasn't coming out. It was despite anybody's efforts, nothing was working. And there's only so many options that you have from there. Like the mother is exhausted. She's either going to have a heart attack and die. She's going to have a stroke. I mean, things could happen very abruptly. So she's either going to die on her own or you're going to have to put her down. And there's nothing you can do because by the time you get them to the vet, guess what? It's probably going to be dead anyway. And then you're going to lose them both.
I was just going to say. Yep.
Right. And then there's another option that you have, which I refuse to do. I can't dismember a baby, a horse, a fetus or anything like. I can't do it. I won't do it. Just So that's the only other option if you tried everything else to get it out, to save the mare. I just can't. So that option was already out the window.
So, wait a second. Hold on a second. So the mama had to DEAD in order for you to get the baby out? Or am I confused?
It depends on the situation. At the end of the day, she had to be put down. There was no other choice. And so me, knowing that the baby was probably already gone, there was nothing that we could do for mama. Instead of having her suffer and struggle anymore, the only other option there was to put her down. But I couldn't put her down. I actually called my neighbors to help me out.
I heard all that.
Situations happen.
Yeah.
But because it's me and I still feel like there's maybe a chance, maybe I could save the baby's life. I wanted to get the baby out and try to save its life.
Right.
At least I could have something. We can't save mama. Let's try something else. So I tried CPR, everything. The baby had already passed away. It was not a serious mess. It wasn't anything like that. If anybody knows what birth is, it's not like that. And so unfortunately, I tried.
Oh,
I tried.
So where'd the knife come in the cutting? Where did all this come up?
I never mentioned any of that. I'm not going to go into detail on how I got the baby out.
Oh, okay. So you know what I mean? That's understandable.
That was then.
Yep.
That was then.
Okay.
I'm not going to do that. The only thing that was said was the only other option that would be able to save the mare is to basically dismember the baby in order to get it out. And listen, I don't know about you, but if that baby's inside, I'm sorry, but dismembering is I'm not capable of doing any of that. Like there's no fucking way.
Right.
Even if it's stuck, there's no way. No way.
Well, horses are one of my favorite animals next to bears. So when I was hearing this, I'm like, there's just no way. Please tell me she did not do this. Please.
I would never. I'm sorry. I can't morally do that. First of all, I'm not a veterinarian. I can't. Right. So many things could go wrong. It's not even funny. You could cut the wrong thing.
I just couldn't imagine. And were you by yourself, Bullet?
Pretty much, yes. I had help, but I was the only one that, you know what I mean? Like I was the only one doing anything. It was just like I was telling everybody else what to do because it's like they don't know, Right. So being that person, even if I had my vet on call with me and I was talking to him about what I needed to do, he was still away. There's no way that I'm going to perform anything or do anything like that without him by my side. None. Right. Even if he's on the phone, there's no way. Right. I just can't.
Right. No, I don't blame you. I couldn't have. I guess we saved that. Glad you had some help then. I mean, it was in a sad way, but like you said, you couldn't do it.
Yeah, and I made the ultimate decision. Unfortunately, at the end of the day, after hours and hours and hours of trying, Mama was just what did they expect me to do? Like let Mama stay alive with the baby inside of her and more pain? No,
because even isn't it true that even like in the Western movies and all that, or even I'm a Little House on the Prairie freak. If you stop and think, what did they used to do to a horse that was wounded?
They would put it down.
Exactly, because they say to let it live. That's torture. That's not okay to do to them. So yeah, that's what they used to do.
I had to, unfortunately, I trusted my gut. Well, not unfortunately. I had to do the best thing that I had the ability to do was
Exactly.
the last option, which I'd never, ever want to put an animal down. That's the last thing I want to do. But when an animal is suffering and
Exactly.
then that's, if you allow it to continue to suffer, then that's when it becomes abuse, no matter what. If an animal is suffering and the best thing to do is to euthanize the thing because there's
Then
no
you do
other
that.
option, that's
Right.
what you do.
That's what you
To keep
do,
that
right.
horse alive, the way that she was, is just causing more neglect and suffering on that animal, and that's something that I refuse to do as well.
Yeah, that's more cruel, in my opinion.
Absolutely, it is more cruel.
Well, just
and I
like
won't
this
do that
girl
either.
here said, no one would know what to do unless they're in that situation. That's the best. Yeah, that's it right there. You can never say something that you don't know that you're going to do or don't do unless you're in that situation.
Exactly.
It's easy to say what you think you would do, but to
Yeah,
be
so-
in that situation in that moment, I bet you any amount of money, what you thought you said you were going to do, it's not the same now that you're in that situation.
Absolutely. And when you become in that situation, don't think for a second like, what do I do? You know what I mean? Like, you're looking to everybody else for advice and you have nothing but your own.
Right.
And it's very difficult because what if you did make the wrong decision? What if there was something? There's always what ifs. There's always
And then you
fear
have
of-
to live with that.
Yeah, and trying the best option to the best of the, as long as the horse fought with me, for example, the best way that I could do it was that. But when enough is enough, you just know.
You just yep.
know when a horse
know.
or when an animal or anything
Yep.
else. When there's not enough fight left, and you know that they are dying, that's when you just know. It's not something that you can be taught. It's
No.
not something in a book.
No.
It's you just know when enough is enough.
Yep,
And I
just-
will
yep.
fight. I will fight for and with an animal until enough is enough, and I can't go any further than that.
Well, just like when you have a dog, they're no longer your pet. Now, my husband and I had to put all 3 of our dogs down. And it goes back to what you said. You just know. My dog was a purebred Rot. The vet was amazed at how many years she lived because Rots they say they don't live over the age of 10. My dog lived for 15 years.
Damn!
However
Congratulations.
long that is in dog year. Oh, yeah, I bred her. I bred Rots. And she had 12 beautiful puppies. All lived, took care of all of them, sold them all, did my thing. But moral of it is she was getting old. She was getting arthritis, and she ended up getting a tumor.
Oh,
I made a vet appointment. I took her to the appointment, paid the money, asked what was the value of life. I know she has this, but I don't want, is she in pain? When they told me, Bullet, that she is hurting, that's all I needed to hear.
exactly.
Did it hurt me? It devastated me. My dog's name was Sassy Mama.
Oh,
That dog was the most loyalist. I'm telling you, she was a great dog. It broke my heart when I got home after putting her down. I fell asleep in her bed, drunk. I got drunk and I passed out in my dog's bed.
oh.
But
Sorry,
I
I
knew
had
it was, thank you. I knew it was time.
Right.
She could barely walk. She had a tumor, so her nose started hurt. She was getting nose. It was time. And they
Right.
told me that she probably could have lived a few more months if I wanted to, but why would I have done that to her? He told me she
Exactly.
was hurting.
Exactly. And sometimes you just know. Sorry. At the end of the day, you know your animal more than anybody because you've cared for it as well. And
Yep.
and sometimes enough is enough, and you got to do the humane thing. Unfortunately, sorry, I had to switch phones.
Yep.
My other one was at 3%. So
Well, and they also say in bigger dogs like Rots and pit bull, like the bigger dogs,
Bully breed.
they're so heavy that it puts a lot of tear on their back. Yes. So the arthritis was common. It's common in bigger dogs anyways.
oh, absolutely, hip dysplasia is definitely a common thing in bigger dogs too because of
Yep.
the pressure and everything. And then you
She
have
was
to work
just
about that.
beautiful.
Yeah, and like my brother's dog, for example, she was, oh my God, I don't even know how old. I think she was about the same. I think she was 12, anywhere between 12 and 15 years old. And my brother, actually, when he passed away, he unalived himself, and he fell on top of her when he passed away.
Ooh.
Yeah. And it caused her.
Yeah,
it
and
caused
dogs
her-
know too.
Yeah, it caused her to be paralyzed, and there was nothing that like she had been seen by the vet and everything, and she was actually in a wheelchair for a while. And there was nothing she could do. But as long as she had that fight in her, there's no reason to put her down. You know, you don't just
Right.
put an animal down, but she still had fight left. But when enough was enough, it was that time, and we said our goodbyes, et cetera, and and
Yep.
she went to the vet, obviously, and and she put down. But at the same time, it's like when you are put in those situations, you just know when enough is enough.
Yeah, and I remember saying too when Sassy was getting older, and I knew the time might have been possibly coming. I said, I can't do it. I won't be able to do it. I don't know if I can. But once I was there and I heard that vet tell me she's hurt and she's in pain, it like what I said I thought I couldn't do. I'm looking at my baby and I'm like, I gotta help her. She's hurt and I don't want her to hurt anymore.
Right. And there's a TikTok that I seen at one point in time, and I actually made a video to it. And it's not just women, so don't think that. It's just the situation because I'm a woman and that's the way that I say it. Sometimes it's like you ask yourself, where in the world do you find the strength? And then your response is, we're women, honey. The strength finds us. And that's
right.
exactly that. That's exactly the point that you're making is you feel like you don't have that strength. You can't do it. No, yes, you can. Strength will find you.
Yes,
You don't find the strength. It finds you.
3 times I had to find that the strength found me because my husband and I had to do all 3 of our dogs.
Exactly. And it's never a good thing when it happens. It
No.
sucks. It's traumatic mainly for you, because you have to sit there and remember that, and then the dog just.
Well, you know what goes through your head too, Bullet, and this is with humans. You always think like, okay, like if someone's on life support, you're going to go by their last wishes.
Right.
They don't want to be at, you know what I'm saying? But then in the back of your mind, you're thinking, what if I would have gave it one more day?
Yep. Exactly.
What
What if I would?
Yep. What if I pulled it too soon?
Exactly.
There's always the what ifs. You just have to know that at that present moment in time, you did every and anything that you could have done and what you thought was right. And in the end result, you did what you did. You don't have to explain that to nobody. And anybody who keeps coming and bashing you for it, were they there? No, they weren't. You were. You experienced that. Don't let nobody take that from you. And don't let nobody keep coming at you, and stop engaging in the unnecessary drama because it's old.
Right. Yeah. I understand that. Like there's stuff brought up from 2022. Like,
I've heard.
what the
I would not even, girl, listen, I would be so over that. They could argue with themselves if they want, because I'm not about to do it.
Right, but then they include the things that happened from 2022 into shit that happened, the shit that happened now, or shit that they're accusing you of now, and it's like you gotta be like, no, that happened forever ago, and that didn't even happen the way you're saying it.
Take
then
a battle
you go to
and stick with
explain it, and it's just difficult. It's difficult sometimes.
Yeah, I'm
man.
sure. I'm sure. But it sounds to me and seems like you got a lot of, animals, and you got a lot going on for yourself and keeping you busy. I hear you got kids.
Yeah.
So like, I would not be engaging with nobody, especially stuff that if it didn't happen last night, I don't want to talk about it. It's the past.
Exactly.
You know what I mean?
Agree. I agree. And sometimes I get, in over my head, and I'm the first to say I'm the pot calling the kettle black. Like I do things that I say I need to do and I don't fucking do it. Or I'll do it for a little bit and then all of a sudden it comes back, and I'm not perfect, but eventually I will be. Remember that one time where you said that you were going to be perfect? Yeah, that one time I will be.
Yeah, right.
Whenever
I
that
do
is,
have my perfect days.
But yeah, I
very many
appreciate you coming in and saying what you're saying, because sometimes it does take somebody to come in and go like, hey, can we talk about it in a different way. Like,
Well,
you know?
and I think it helps too coming from, we'll say me, because I am an outsider. I'm not in those circles. I don't like hang out. You know what I mean? I just pop
Right.
in and out and I'm not involved in your situations. I haven't been here for years and know everything. So sometimes an outsider's view, just to come in and say, hey, how about you try this? Or how about you don't do that? You know, it does help.
Right. And, you know, I appreciate it because it also helps other people realize, like, maybe you should just make your own judgments, you know? Maybe you should
Yep.
just sit and watch and not do anything.
And that's
So-
that's what I've been doing. I
Yeah, I
watched the live.
appreciate you coming in.
Thank you. I watched the live, I think it was yesterday, and Grow Queen was in there, and I really respected what she said. Besides, I swear to God, she's better than the FBI with things. But, no, I know, I've heard you guys', but I just want to say, I did respect something that she did and said. They were saying that a guy AP was doing something or saying something, and she didn't pass her judgment. She just said, send me it. And they sent it. And she came back on there and she was like, no, that's not what he said. So many questions were being thrown at this person. And that's where I got, in other words, what she was saying exactly what I was thinking, but I just was minding my business. Like,
Right.
no, you guys are confusing what he was saying because so many questions were being thrown at him. He answered one and it made it seem like he was answering to that. And that's not what that was.
Absolutely.
I
And,
did
you know, and
respect her for that.
And she does that. And when she does it in the right ways, I mean, she's really good at it. And I really like, that's one thing I respected and appreciated about her too, is that she would come in and say, no matter who it was or what it was. But, you know, the good qualities about her, I mean, it doesn't change. My feelings about her and the shit that we went through does not change the good qualities about her. She still has those qualities. So I'll never disagree with those
Yep.
kind of qualities. At the same time, I mean, there's always positive in somebody.
Always.
Like Sassy, for example. I mean, I could sit here and talk shit about her all day long. She does a lot of bad shit. She's annoying. But there are times where she does call out facts on certain things and she puts people in her place, and I envy that. I like that about her.
Yep.
But, you know, I just don't like it when she does it to the wrong people. She needs to focus her energy on more things that actually matter.
Yeah,
People that are
positive.
actually causing harm, but, you know,
Yeah.
you can lead a horse to water, but
But you can't make them drink it.
exactly.
Yep.
So,
Well, it was nice. I thank you for your mod or whoever did ask me if I wanted a box, because I appreciate that, because it's just a lot easier to do it this way than trying to type in them comments.
right. And I'm glad my mods do that. That's why I like my mods so much. They do good things. They really do. I have really good mods.
Yeah, it seems like it. Well, you enjoy the rest of your day. I'm going to go eat my lunch and get ready to go get grandkids from school.
You too. I'm actually going to get off here as well.
All
I
right.
got things I got to do.
You enjoy the rest of your day. And you
You
have to
too.
disconnect me, hon, because I have no idea what I'm doing.
Okay, I'll disconnect you.
Thank you.
You have a good day. I'm going to follow you.
You too, Bullet.
I'm the mod that does bad things. This one gets me in trouble. You hear me? Britt, she gets me in trouble, right? She listen. Sometimes she gets me in trouble. I'm just playing. But no, I really appreciate you coming in and whatnot. I think that was really awesome of you to say and to kind of stand up and say without being biased or anything, just being real. And I appreciate that. So I'm going to get off of here. But I appreciate you guys for coming in, and I appreciate the mods for doing everything they doing. Even when I don't like it sometimes, you guys are awesome. I appreciate you guys. I'll talk to you later.
Motherfuckers, always running y'all's motherfucking mouth. Get your ass over here.